Heritage Footsteps, preserving our heritage with new media.
It was the largest battery manufacturer in the British Empire, and this was the hub of it. This was the main office. So you'd have a Chloride India, Chloride Singapore, there was like a Chloride Australia, there'd be a Chloride in China. And when you started, you looked, virtually every country in the world had a Chloride, and they were all sending the profits back here. The letter come through the post that I got took on at Chloride, and I nearly didn't go to France. I was that excited, I thought, this is it. I knew, everybody in Swinton knew that this place was the place to work. It was very, very lucky to get took on. And honestly, when I got that letter, it was unbelievable. The first day, I turned up with 8 other apprentices in a workforce of 5,000. We turned up and basically we were told to go home because we was in the way. And they paid us 6 weeks to stay at home. You was on miles more money than anywhere else. At the time, in 73, I think I started on £13 a week as a 15-year-old apprentice, where everyone else was on, say, £8 or £9. We was on £13. You know, and I can remember that. And you got a pound deductions. You know, like all in. So in 73, that was good money. That it's 40 years ago, isn't it? 15-year-old lad. You know, you've gone from 60p pocket money to 13 quid. It's like, woohoo! In the 70s and 80s, you know, you love coming to work, and I love coming to work even to virtually the end of it. It was always a good firm to work for, but the management were very, very good as well. The management, it wasn't us and them as such. You had the higher management that were the higher management, but there was a maintenance management, and the maintenance management all come through the ranks. So the maintenance management were people that you could go to with a problem. I was took on by the union. No one got on here without the union's permission. So you were interviewed by the management, and then you was interviewed by the union. And between them, they made a decision of who was taken on. And that's Britain in the 70s, isn't it? That's how the 70s was. It was a period where the working class did have a lot of clout. I've had opportunities here that, and it comes across maybe boasting, but you know, I brought my family up with the best of everything virtually through working here, and everybody else did. And I think it's a shame for the area that everything's gone. And I do feel sorry for the young people, I really do. You know, you've got the 5,000 that works here, you've got the 1,000 that works at Pilkington Tiles next door, you've got the 2,000 that works at the Magnesium Electron. That's 8,000 people in a little valley. And now there's probably 500 at the most left from them 8,000. And you know, I wish that them jobs were all still here for our local young people. In the 70s, there was a lot of old Victorian buildings. I started in 73, and the original Chloride farm was still up, and it was used by the secretaries as a secretarial pool. And the old brick building that was a farm previous to it becoming a battery manufacturing was there. It is now at the side of what is now W&R and Ed King Salvage Kings, but it was there, and it was there for years and years. And there was buildings, lovely buildings that were up. It was a mismatch. The farming shed was acid. And you went in, you couldn't see in front of you too far. There was a mist of acid, and in there you was allowed to spit, because the spit in your teeth fell out, and you could drink. They'd give you milk, free milk and everything. It was a terrible place to work. Then there was other places like the red lead. They made it was a type of battery that had this grey lead and red lead, and there was in the air there was just a red mist, and that was lead dust. So I'm painting a rosy picture early doors of it for me and the electricians, it might have been a rosy picture, but for some of the workers, it was. The conditions were bad for some people. In the 50s, over on the back field, we call it the back field, there's two sides to the works. There was the East Works and the West Works. And you've got the East Works now, is where Ryden's is, Ryden's the place. That was all sports facilities. The social side of it, they'd have picnics to Blackpool, they call them picnics, and they'd hire trains. They'd hire trains and take the workforce to Blackpool from Swinton train station, which is in Swinton. And they'd have banners on the train saying Chloride hung up on the front of the train, go to Blackpool. And it was like they had hockey pitches, they had, for the girls obviously, hockey, they had football. I don't think they ever had rugby, to be honest. They didn't go in for rugby. But they had ping pong tables, they had under 21 clubs, you know, they had golf societies, Chloride Golf Society, I was a member of that. It was, you know, if they had a Chloride Motor Club, you could get all parts cheap. Chloride Motor Club, you name it, but virtually any farm they had, you know, you could buy second-hand stuff. There was people that would sell you sheds, people that would sell you suits, you know, you could buy anything down at this place, anything and everything. You knew that the end was coming, and in the end, it was year on year, there was redundancies, year on year. From the 5,000 in 73, there's 4,500 in 77, right? And then it went down and down till in 2000, there might have been 1,000 people worked here in 2000. And then it went down and down and down. And it ended up and things were going, things were disappearing, left, right and centre. You know, things were going to France, i.e. Submarine batteries went to France. We were losing, we weren't losing orders, it was just being made in other places. The factory split in two and become Over Hulton. Over Hulton was built, which was a factory that was supposed to be ours, but through bad dealings in the stock market and whatever, was sold off. But there become an air of an inevitability that it was all going to end. And the lads were asked to show the Bulgarians how to do the job. And they did. Unfortunately, it all went in 2008. The end, it was the end from 1880 to 2008. You know, it's sad, but that's the way it is, isn't it? That's the way it is for a lot of other things.
Heritage Footsteps, preserving our heritage with new media.